We have emphasized that during and after the pole shift, leadership will have to be earned, as real crises challenge the qualification of the pompous. During this process, matters do not go smoothly, as might be imagined, as the self-appointed leadership of the pompous is loath to let go. To those who think the term self-appointed is inappropriate when applied to elected officials, or those appointed or promoted by others, we suggest an examination of the facts. How does one get to be an elected official? Are they dragged, kicking and screaming, to the podium? They are found running about, loudly proclaiming their worth, long before the election process, before the public ever hears their name. They are suggesting to others that they could be a candidate, would make a great candidate, and what they could do for others if elected. Depending upon the audience, the beneficiaries of a successful election differ. The public is told the common man will benefit, justice will be done, wrongs righted, festering problems addressed, because the candidate has a big heart, has the qualities needed to lead, and can no longer stand to be idle in the face of all this distress. Of course, there are occasional politicians who fit this bill, and their track record before and after announcing their candidacy make this clear. But the vast majority are self-focused and make it clear to those who can help them climb into power that they will return the favour. Examine the history of George W. Bush for such an example. Posturing, trying to say the right words, while lining the pockets of his friends in the oil industry. Was he rescuing kittens and helping little old ladies across streets in his youth? Nope. He was blowing up frogs with firecrackers. Thus, when the time comes for leadership to be earned, politicians, almost to a one, won't qualify. How does one secure a promotion or an appointment? To some degree, the same process applies, but the individual haunting the halls of power and making themselves a known person takes a different tack. Perhaps they lack confidence as a public speaker or cannot lie with a straight face, so would fail as a politician. But as a lackey, they can carry out an agenda, and they make it clear from the start that nothing will stand in the way of carrying out the agenda of those who can promote or appoint them. Those in the workplace are astonished early in their careers to see the most incompetent individuals around them promoted, while the competent are put in as an assistant, in a dead-end job that just coincidentally supports the incompetent who has just been promoted. The incompetent has spent his time hanging around where he can encounter the powerful and agree with everything they say, line up their personal philosophy with the espoused philosophy of the powerful. During this courting season, the incompetent openly twists any moral fibre they might have had to make it obvious that they are immoral to the core and willing to sell their souls to ally with the powerful. Should we be stealing from the pension fund to pad the salaries of those at the top? The incompetent cannot agree fast enough. They get promoted. Thus, when the time comes for leadership to be earned, corporate management or those in high government positions almost to a one, won't qualify. Natural leadership of the good-hearted emerges via a different route. They do not emerge grasping and running after the perks of high office, as they are too busy attending to real problems around them, while the official leadership is getting themselves adorned with the trappings of high office, the ceremony, the dinners, the carefully arranged interviews, so the public can get to know them as they hope the public will be led to believe they are. The real leaders are at work. Take the example of two men, both starting out working for a construction firm. The good-hearted natural leader sees the task to be done by the crew, and if any crew member is having difficulty, assists. Thus, he is too busy to hang around the office to make his face known to those who might promote him. Perhaps the owner hears the talk and understands the good-hearted one gets the job done and promotes him the same as the ambitious one who spends his time self-promoting. But more likely the ambitious one arranges for the competent natural leader to be assigned to him as an underling. Now come disasters in the area, and the natural leader is busy helping out more than his work crew. The ambitious one, who has not even done his job, much less volunteered to help others, continues to hang out at the office, suggesting how he might be put in charge of any large contract the firm might secure. The natural leader thus is not known outside of the circle of workers and friends and strangers he assists. He is too busy to get his name floated about or hound after the perks of leadership. Enter the chaos that will precede the pole shift, which is increasingly engulfing the earth now. In addition to the normal turnover to natural leadership that will occur during unremitting disasters that strip the pompous of their self-appointed claims, there is the decapitation process we have defined for the Bush administration. The decapitation process only makes it clear that the Bush administration is incompetent, liars, and embroiled in scandals to the point of being ineffective leaders even in quiet times, when such leadership is not challenged to prove itself. The normal process of discarding self-appointed leaders and accepting natural leaders is as follows. The official self-appointed leadership asserts itself, barking orders or grabbing the microphone or arranging photo opportunities. Disastrous problems continue to compound, with the self-appointed leadership increasingly unable to address them. The public turns to natural leadership first on a local basis and then, as word of their effectiveness spreads, on a wider basis. The self-appointed, incompetent leadership gets shrill, attacking the natural leaders, threatening them, may attempt to assassinate them, and may try to subjugate them, making the natural leader an appointed underling. To the extent that the natural leader ignores the self-appointed leadership, which by now has become hated, they will continue to lead. By allowing themselves to be subjugated, they will create a second round of the cycle until the subjugated one breaks away in disgust with the orders they are receiving. The self-appointed leadership will close ranks, pull around them those that listen to them, and force themselves upon a smaller and smaller range as their influence diminishes. Eventually, they are reduced to barking orders at each other, enraged, with threats and suicides and strokes and heart attacks, diminishing their numbers steadily.